Now I invite you all to come up and share your stories of him. He loved a good story, and especially the funny ones. So gently roasting him is okay, so let the roast begin. Thank you.
My name is Madeline. I'm niece of Aunt Carol and Uncle Mike. And I'm Sadie Rose, niece as well. We wanted to share with you today something that Uncle Mike gave to us when we were little. It was an illustrated poem. And we got kind of obsessed with it, honestly.
Very attached.
We had our room in the attic at our house back in Wisconsin, and our wallpaper is still themed from this book. So the book is called The Owl and the Pussycat. So we're going to share it with you. The owl and the pussycat went to sea in a beautiful pea-green boat. They took some honey
And plenty of money
wrapped up in a 5-pound note. The owl looked up to the stars above and sang to a small guitar. Oh, lovely pussy, oh pussy, my love, what a beautiful pussy you are. You are, what a beautiful pussy you are.
Pussy said to the owl, "You elegant fowl, how charmingly sweet you sing. Oh, let us be married. Too long have we tarried, but what shall we do for a ring?" They sailed away for a year and a day to the land where the balm tree grows. And there in a wood, a piggy wig stood with a ring at the end of his nose. His nose, with a ring at the end of his nose.
Dear pig, are you willing to sell for 1 shilling your ring? Said the pig, I will. So they took it away and were married next day by the turkey who lives on the hill. They dined on mince and slices of quince, which they ate with a runcible spoon. And hand in hand on the edge of the sand, they danced by the light of the moon. The moon, the moon. They danced by the light of the moon. So that's the story of the owl and the pussycat. Now I have a question for all of you, because this was a question that we posed to Uncle Mike. The runcible spoon. We were puzzled by the runcible spoon. We had no idea what could possibly be a runcible spoon. So without getting out your iPhones or anything, does anybody know what a runcible spoon is? Yeah, neither did we. So we called up Uncle Mike, and he knew, without getting out a dictionary, without looking it up, what a runcible spoon was. So we will tell you what a runcible spoon is. We had to look it up again. Runcible is an adjective. It says a nonsense word used by Edward Lear in Runcible Cat, Hat, etc., and especially in Runcible Spoon. In a later use applied to a kind of fork used for pickles. Curved like a spoon and having 3 broad prongs, of which one has a sharp edge. If anybody goes to Taco Bell lately, that's the utensil they give you. It is a runcible spoon. So thank you very much. We just wanted to share with you the runcible spoon.
Afternoon, folks. Mike and I go back a long, long way, 40 years or so. And so I just want to share a few thoughts with you. During that time, we shared many a thought, adventures, and a laugh or two. He was a funny, funny guy. From the days of company picnics and outings to travels afar, quite a few stand out, and I'll spare you a bunch of them, just give you a few. Like roasting a pig on the beach one day. All started out pretty good. Cooking a pig and grilling some fish on the side. About halfway through the process, the pig, overcooked in the middle, fell off the spit into this huge bonfire. quite a sight it was as Mike and I and a few others jumped into the fire to salvage this. Rolling it out in bits and pieces left us with a lot of ash-covered pig. What to do? Well, Mike says, let's take it down to the ocean and wash it and put it on the grill. Well, this done, we proceeded to serve it to our very wind-up and beard-up guests, who just loved it. They wanted the recipes. Great flavor. Another point, we found ourselves owning back-to-back properties in the Parkside area of San Mateo here. We were each rooming with a couple of large boys, the aforementioned Dave Bergen and another, and not wanting to walk around the block to visit each other, the two of them would just climb over the backyard common fence. Needless to say, Mike and I were soon building a gate. And Viola walked through that gate one day, if she kind of recalls, and came over to visit with me. Unfortunately, I was sunbathing. And then there were some of the infamous ball games with Earl, JP, Pip, and a host of others. Never did win the big one, but we had a lot of fun. And then in between it all, we decided to travel. Along with John Hasagawa, we set off for Australia. After getting there and putting Mike in a separate room, he talked in his sleep. Or so it was. We started exploring the country and had so much fun, we decided to make this kind of travel an annual event. New Zealand came about 6 years later, never did a third. Mike finally moved out of Parkside up to some mountain near the coast. He and Carol were over for dinner one night. It was truly a dark and stormy night. And they left around 10 p.m. Terry and I retired, and about 2 hours later heard a knock at the front entrance. Put on my robe and not knowing what to expect, put my Smith & Wesson in my pocket and opened the door. There stood the slightly drenched couple, and in typical Mike fashion, he commented, "Is that a pistol in your pocket? You just happened to see it." Seems like they couldn't make it up the mountain. Anyway, times changed. We both moved on to bigger and better things, standing up for each other at our respective weddings and a host of other activities. But to sum it all up, you had no business leaving us so early, little friend. We'll miss you. Goodbye, Fly High.
My name is John Hasagawa. I was at one time roommate of Mike, along with another fellow named Chuck Morton. He's up in Portland now. Carol, he liked to talk while he was asleep, didn't he? Yeah, a little loudly. So we were down in Australia with Denny and Mike and I. First night we were there, it was during the day because we got there like 8 o'clock in the morning. We've been up all night. I think we couldn't get on the flight the day before or something. So we've been up like 36 hours. We get to the hotel. All they had was one room. Big, huge room. Mistake. Denny and I did not wink to sleep. Mike was at it. So we started going from Sydney. We started driving toward Melbourne. We get to this one place, one motel. First night, I think it was the first night. They got 2 rooms. One huge room with 1 bed. One little tiny room with 2 beds. Denny and I looked at each other and said, "Mike, you go have the bigger room." No question. We were across the way, but we could still hear it. We had to get all the sheets, all the towels, stuff it under the door, so we could get some wink. And another thing was, he had this plant when we were living.
I remember that.
And he had a cat. This cat chewed this plant to shit. And the plant was Wandering Jew. Guess what he called his cat? Name. He named that cat Eichmann. That was cat's name. I mean, he just tore that. You probably heard that. I think it was before. It might have been before you.
It was before me. But the reason was the cat had never been left alone, and Michael decided to go to Disneyland for 3 days.
So that's the Mike I